Welcome. Sit down, traveller.
Okay.
Can I?
Shall I just take the seat right here?
Yeah, I'll just fetch you a mug of tea.
Oh, tea.
Have
Have you got any? Okay, tea. I'll take tea.
Yeah. Be careful with it though, because it's hot, and
Thank
it
you.
also contains swearing, spoilers, and opinions.
Oh, is that a special spice?
No, the tea is actually this podcast.
Oh, ooh.
It was a metaphor.
So you got nothing to drink?
No.
Oh, that sucks. I'm going to a different pub. Bye.
Bye. Hello and welcome to 250 Reasons to Stay Indoors. I'm Jordan.
I'm Keiran.
And this is the podcast where we watch the IMDb top 250 films. We tell you whether it was worth staying indoors for or whether you should go outside and enjoy your life. Kieran, what are we watching this week?
This week we are watching Stand By Me.
Stand By Me. And what is it and where? Where and what,
You don't have
Kieran?
to say anything.
I don't know. Yeah, but I'm stalling for time while you look.
Okay. 189 is where it is on the list.
Uh-huh.
And it came out in the year 1988.
Okay, that's cool.
Stand By Me.
Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
I feel like the song Stand By Me
Yeah.
by Benny King is going to be in there
you're
somewhere.
really hoping that it's going to be
I
in
really
there.
want it to.
Yeah.
That song means a lot to me.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a really nice song.
What happened? Why does it feel so special to you?
Oh, my dad used to sing it.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's nice.
What would be fun is if it's like Rush Hour. Have you seen Rush Hour, the
No.
film? Okay. In Rush Hour 3, I think there's like a bit where there's a guy called You, and he's like, what? Yeah, he's like you, and he's like, no, you. Like there's like that sort of confusion. So I want it to be the story of like Chinese exchange student called Me. And it's all about this guy who has to look after him, but he's like not from America. He doesn't know what's going on. He gets into crazy hijinks, and that guy's got to stand by Me. He's got to be with him. He's his buddy. It's a buddy system. It's another like teen family friendly. I'm just in a mood for these films now.
What if it was like a standby, like you can have your TV on standby?
Stand by Me. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like he's in a coma.
Oh, that's not good. Oh, Jordan.
Okay, should we go and watch the film?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. And we're back with a couple of fast forwards.
Wait, just before we do the fast forwards, I just want to say, listeners, everyone, people who are listening to this right now, I am an idiot and I said 1988, whereas Stand By Me came out in 1986.
You also stood by very far away from your mic.
Yeah, so I'm sorry about that. So,
Yeah.
hey, we're all learning here.
We are, but you would have thought you'd have learned by now.
Let's do some fast forwards.
Anyway.
Childhood.
Fun.
Friends.
Dead body.
Dickhead teenagers.
Gun.
Ride along.
Knife.
Eating competitions.
Having a packet of cigarettes rolled up in the
Yeah.
shirt of
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
the arm of your shirt.
Yep. Sleeve.
Bad dads.
Pies.
Dead brothers.
Oh, Jesus, this is bleak. Lake.
Sick balls.
Leeches.
Spitting water in your friend's face and it being okay and funny.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay.
Sick balls.
Yeah, sure. So you want to do your 15-second pitch where you give us a quick 15-second scenario of the film?
Quick second scenario.
A quick second scenario.
Heels.
3, 2, 1, go.
It's a flashback film. Okay, let's start again.
No, we're still going.
What?
We're still going.
Jordan!
You got 10 seconds.
It's fucks. Flashback film. 4 guys want to discover a dead body. The brothers are dickhead. They find a dead body and then they take it back, and they're not martyrs or saviors, but they just discovered a dead body.
Okay, you got 23 seconds, but
For fuck's sake, Jordan, that's not
you
fair
had 10
at all.
seconds when I said you had...
What do you mean? I had 10 seconds
were at
left to
10
go.
You were at 10 seconds when I said you
Jordan.
had 10 seconds.
That's not fair.
Because I fucked it up. But that means you were 13 seconds. So you You were way off.
What? I did the whole thing in 13 seconds.
Yeah.
I still don't feel like that whole scenario was fair. You didn't.
Hey,
you
you've
didn't,
got to keep your head under pressure. You cracked under the pressure.
See, we've done it before where we've restarted after you do something stupid like that. Yeah. So
Well,
I was expecting.
Come on, it's late in the game. We've done over 50 episodes now, Kieran. I
So
expect better
from
from
this
you.
point, well, I expect better from you. I don't expect you not to go.
What? I'm bringing classic A material like that.
Classic
In
A material.
Like ready, go.
So okay,
That's
so
brilliant.
I should be not finding it funny.
Comedy genius.
That is for the listener to find funny, but because we're co-hosts, comedians,
Yeah.
you want me to find that not funny.
Co-comedians. I like
You see
that.
what I did there?
Yeah.
Okay,
There's no way you came up with that.
dude, I literally just said that.
There's no
and
way.
that was off the top. That
I
was
don't
off the
believe
bean,
that.
mate.
No.
Let's do.
Off the bean. Because your head's a bean, because you're bald.
Yeah. You know
Off
it.
the bald, shiny bean.
Oh, mate.
Why?
Just
You're the one
because.
taking it there. It didn't have to be anything gross at all. It's just about your head.
Well, it is. Let's do a synopsis.
Okay.
It is a flashback film.
It is a flashback film.
So
The film begins with a man in a car having a flashback.
And when he's in the car, he's reading this newspaper saying there's this guy who was killed. And the first line he says, I wrote this down because I think this is kind of an iconic line. I was 12 going on 13 the first time I saw a dead human being. And
Yeah. Who doesn't remember how old they were when they saw their first dead human being?
How old are you?
7.
Oh,
Yeah.
lucky.
Too young.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck me.
Well,
Of course,
cool.
if I didn't kill him in the first place, I wouldn't be in this situation, would I?
But seriously though, your parents both being detective people.
Yeah.
Did you ever have a lot of detective dead people talk around?
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah.
Oh
All
my
the time.
God.
We were actually talking about this at the Christmas dinner table the other day.
Right.
A
couple,
Christmas.
like a month ago, yeah.
Yeah. And we were saying how, well, first of all, we were talking about dead bodies and like
As you do.
what we would do if we were to see a dead body.
Mm-hmm.
And I was saying that I think I probably, I'm curious to see what I'd do if I saw a dead body. I want to know whether I'd be like, huh, or whether I'd be like, huh. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. But we were talking about how when I was younger, there'd be discussions about like my mum and dad had both been to like the morgue that day, and they're like talking
So,
about
honey,
what they saw.
how was the
and
morgue today?
Talking about like intestines and stuff like that.
Oh,
and I'm
Jesus.
literally
Tucking
when I
into
was
your
like
steak and kidney
9
pie.
years old or something, listening to conversations about dead people and shit like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God. See what surprises me the most is I have there's this guy who I used to live with, and both his parents were also detectives, and he said that his parents were emotionally dead, and that's how he turned out kind of weird. You seem to be fine in general, and your parents also seem to be fine. At the very least, they have good sense of humor. You know, they have enough emotion to have a dog. Maybe they have a dog now because they need something to fill the emotional void that is left since you've been away from the house for a while. So maybe it's that. But that tells me enough that they're not just like, dead on the inside.
No, I don't. I think, actually, my dad was saying that he was telling a story about how... I don't know if I should actually say, but basically it was a situation that occurred that was, it sounds kind of like gruesome, but like they ended up laughing because it was just like, what else do you do sort of thing.
It's a good point, really. It's like, this is the grim reality of the job. Like, what else can you do than laugh about it? So, yeah.
They saw the dead body. At the end, we'll go backwards. No, so he's talking about how he saw the first dead body, and it starts the story with them and him. What's his name? No.
Sorry,
Gordy.
The main guy
character
is
is Gordy, who's played by Will Wheaton.
Sure.
That's just know him from Star Trek and Big Bang Theory.
Oh, okay.
And he's there with his three best friends.
One of them's his proper best mate. And then you've got
Chris
the other
is his
two.
like proper Bezzy mate. And they're all in the tree house doing like 50s kids things, like reading comics and smoking cigarettes.
And playing cards.
Talking
Talking about boobs.
And talking about boobs. And then, there's the three of them in the treehouse, and then one of them comes and he's like, "Yo, guys." Basically, he's heard his brother talking about a dead body, and the plan is to go and find the dead body, and then they'll be put on the news or on TV as like the saviors. And so they embark on this quest, and they get up to all sorts of sort of shenanigans on the way there.
It's basically the story of how they go on a quest and have shenanigans.
It's literally just a story of there isn't really anything that happens other than them walking along a train track and stuff happening along the way.
Yeah. So should we give us some examples of the things that happen?
Yeah, sure. So one of the things that happens is they stop off by a what's it called? Like a junkyard.
Yeah.
And they're just sitting there for some reason. Don't actually know why. And
they're waiting for the shop to open.
Oh, is that what they're doing? Okay. Well, they're just sitting there in this junkyard, shooting the shit and talking about who's going to go to get some food. And also in the junkyard's owned by a guy who has a dog that apparently sicks people's balls.
Which means he bites their balls off.
Yeah. And so Gordy gets the short straw and he has to go to the shop. He comes back, and as he gets back to where they all were, he sees they're all like climbing over the fence, running away. And he's like, what the fuck's going on? And he realizes the junkyard man is back with his dog. And then he's like, fucking, I gotta get out of here. So he starts running, and the dog's after him, and he's running. He jumps over the gate, and then they realize that the dog doesn't look that scary after all. And they're kind of laughing at him.
The junkyard guy chat shit at one of the kids, who is Teddy, whose dad was, I'm going to say whose dad was French, storming the beaches at Normandy.
Why did he have to be French?
Because Teddy says in the treehouse, hey, I'm French, when the other two do a shit joke against him. So that's why I'm referring, because I thought it could have been one of the Americans storming the beach, even though they weren't many Americans. Yeah. Anyway, so but this guy who Teddy's dad is now in an asylum or something like that because he's got PTSD or something like that. But this dude was taking the piss out of him, saying that he was a loony and whatever else. Yeah. Teddy takes this very badly. He wants to be in the army and whatever else. His dad was also abusive to him, so it's not great. But anyway, that's another funny thing that happened. They also try and wade through a swamp to get through to go to a shortcut. Yeah. And when they come out of the swamp, they realize that they've got leeches all over them. Yeah. Gordy pulls a leech off his penis, which is...
Well, it could be his penis or it could be his balls. We don't know.
Hey, you don't know. It could be both of them.
It could be both the penis and the ball.
But it's just one ball, one singular ball. Because we're absolutely sure that one ball was left untouched, unscathed.
What do you mean? There is only one.
I'm sorry to break this to you, Jordan. But you're supposed to have two.
I've been operating at half capacity.
Hey, just think about what you could be doing with two.
Man, imagine how much pee I could store if I had two balls.
Oh, Jordan. Okay. Now, at the same time as them going on their adventures, we also see the somewhat older generation, in as much as it's not Gordy's brother, it's Chris's brother. Yeah. And Chris is like the ringleader of their little gang. Yeah. But Chris's brother is the ringleader of his gang.
No, he's not.
Is it not?
No.
Oh, there's some
it's
separate...
the guy from 24.
Oh, I don't fucking know.
It's Jack Bauer.
Okay. Oh, okay. It's
It's young Jack Bauer.
Sorry. So Chris's older brother is part of that older guy's
the Cobras.
Gang. Cobras or whatever. And it's fucking weird because it's like this is just a town in the middle of nowhere where no one does anything.
Castle Rock.
Right. And just no one
You
does...
give me such a look when I explain... When I say things that are actually from the film, like, oh, fuck you. Like, yeah. All right, Jordan. You know the name of some things that happened in the film. You were paying attention to some stuff. Okay, all right.
I don't mean to.
You do the same. I don't give you a look. Fuck you.
Okay, I'm not.
So when they were on Castle Rock.
So they're in Castle Rock, you fucking wise ass, and they're. But this is a place where nothing happens. It's not as if they're in the middle of the city and then there's loads of rival gangs or anything. It's like there's no stakes here, and they're just bored out of their skulls.
It looks like a really boring place to be.
And so they go they drive along the road and they're like playing what is it, like letterbox baseball where they've got a baseball bat and they're whacking the.
I think you just keep whacking them until you hit a wooden one, and then that means you lost.
Oh yeah, because
something like that.
Because you have to keep a streak up, and that's when the next person goes. I think that's what it is. Anyway, so the reason why we're keeping up with their larks is because it was, my understanding is that it was Vern's brother, who is also part of this gang.
Yeah.
It was Vern's brother and another one of those guys.
Yeah.
Who killed the kid in the first place.
No.
Well, who killed the kid?
The train.
But didn't they put the body in front of the train or something?
No.
Okay, well,
They were stealing the car. That's why they didn't want anyone to know. Because, like, how did they find him? They don't want anyone to place them stealing the car, like, being there.
So, but those two, Vern's brother and the other guy, they put the body next to this lake somewhere.
Oh, wait, maybe they did push him or something in front of it. I don't know. Maybe there's something going on.
There's some bullshit going on, but we need to keep up with their larks because it gets out within their older gang that everyone finds out that there's something going on with this kid, and also Vern's brother who did some bullshit with the train and the car, blah, 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 blah. So they're like, we've got to find this body as well. Now they drive to where the body is. And at the end of the little kids gang, when they finish walking and camping and picking leeches off their balls, like once they've done that, they get to the body, but at the same time, the older gang gets there too. Yeah.
We missed one thing as well, though, that's kind of iconic. When they're along the train tracks on their way, there's a part where there's just like a really long bridge, and they have to cross it. And they're like, well, we could just go 5 miles down the river and go round. And Teddy's like, fuck you, I'm going. So they all go. And then there's a train, and then there's a slow motion Will Wheaton going train, and then they all run, and the fat kid's like fucking shit himself, and then they get out of the way of the train.
Yeah,
continue.
There's a few heart-to-heart moments as well.
Yeah.
Where Chris is saying, I've got nothing for me, no one understands me, and Gordy is like, no one loves me at all. So it's kind of deep, and those two actors out of the 4 little kids are definitely the superior actors. Just a quick side note.
Yeah.
So you've got the little kids and then the older kids who are meeting at the body, and the ringleader of the older kids, it goes over to the younger kids and is like, you better fuck off, I've got a knife. But then Gordy pulls a gun out of nowhere and he's like, I will literally shoot you. And so the older guys fuck off. They decide to just cover the body in a blanket or something, and they do an anonymous call into the police saying there's a body over here, and they walk home, and they somehow arrive home at 5 a.m. I don't know how that works. Like, it took them longer to walk there than it took them to walk back.
Well, there's no stops. Sleeping. Just go all the way.
I think so. I didn't buy it. But anyway, so they and then
it's only 20 miles.
Okay, maybe.
You can walk that in a day.
Whatever. So you are right. I probably gave you that face again. Did I give you that face again?
No, you didn't. You gave me I'm trying to figure out how I can prove you're wrong. Face.
They get home, and Vern and Teddy go off and live the rest of their lives. Gordy and Chris grow to become mates. Chris ends up taking the same classes as Gordy. He becomes a lawyer. But then one day, Chris goes into a restaurant, and we find ourselves back into the present day where Gordy is an author. He's writing his book because, by the way, the whole time Gordy's been telling stories. He's an author, and
he's the narrator of the film.
Yes, and Chris is saying, sorry. He says that Chris went into a restaurant, and there was 2 guys who were having a fight or something. He went to break it up, but then he got stabbed in the neck, and he died instantly. Yeah. Blah 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 blah. This is the story of my life, and
now I've got kids, and now I've got going outside to play with them.
Exactly, and being a good dad.
Find a dead body.
Yeah,
as his rite of passage.
That's it, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the end of the film.
Cool. Should we do some beefs?
Yeah, like what kids can't smoke, right? That's not okay. How is that okay in the film?
Of course, it's not okay, but they did at the time. Especially when there's nothing to do and they're bored as hell and they've only got their older brothers as role models.
Real life, though, like those kids smoked cigarettes in that film.
Yeah.
Right. That's not all right.
Kids were smoking cigarettes at 13 years old in my school. Some of them were.
But not legally.
No, of course not. But they would
get but this is on a film and those people are filming these children smoking cigarettes.
Oh, well,
I mean, is there not, surely there's a legal thing there. How is that okay?
I don't know if there's some kind of fake cigarettes or something, or maybe like, I don't know, there must be something in there.
Pretty real. Maybe they were fake, but they looked really real.
Yeah, they looked really real to me.
And they were definitely like doing some inhaling.
They must have been fake. I'm saying, because I reckon if this was like in the 60s, I reckon they could have got away with it, no questions asked. But let's say today there would be some sick fake cigarettes, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But even still, there would have to be some mad legislation paperwork going on saying you
wouldn't even be able to show like kids smoking cigarettes because it's a bad image. Like you wouldn't be allowed to film.
But let's say your film is like representing historical things, you know. There's going to be loads of stuff where
I don't know.
Yeah,
you'd have to have like a crazy like rating for it or something. I don't think they'd allow it unless it was like 18 or 15. Like they're just not going to allow images of children smoking.
Okay,
I can't imagine they would allow it.
That's a fair shout. Yeah, maybe like in an Oliver Twist, you know, kind of film. Like an 18 version would have the Artful Dodger smoking and doing all kinds of bits and bobs. Yeah. Like Pinocchio, for instance, they take drugs in Pinocchio. If Pinocchio was made today, it would be an 18. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Because those kids are definitely taking drugs and hallucinating for sure. And a live action remake of Pinocchio, as I would expect, would be coming in the next few years with all the Dumbo. They're going to do a Dumbo remake soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
Disney's run out of ideas,
I guess. But
let's just make them all again.
But live action. So if they do a Pinocchio live action, that's going to have to be an 18 because of all the drugs in it. Is that what you're saying?
Well, they probably just won't put the drugs in.
Well, I saw the film. Half the film's hallucinations.
Oh, it's fun without the drugs.
Right? All right. There's a line right at the beginning. It's a long time ago, but only if you measure in terms of years. What the fuck does that even mean?
I live for that shit.
What do you mean?
No, man, that's cool. That's right. That's exactly how it is.
Explain that to me.
Right, it's a long time ago, but only if you measure in years.
You just repeated it.
If you're measuring it in tens of years, then it's not so long.
Well, it's
or if
only
you're measuring
2.
it in 50 years, then it's even smaller. It's not even a whole 50 years if that's what your measurement's based off of.
No. Because, okay, if he'd have said it's a large amount, but only if you measure in years, then yes, I understand, because the unit is years. If the unit is decades, then it's a small amount because it's only, let's say, 4, right? But he said it's a long time ago, and time is measured in hours, minutes, and years.
Yeah, but time is relative.
Jordan, you're just picking that sentence out of your fucking...
No, but it is, isn't it? Like,
no,
and that's what that
not.
sentence
it's
means.
Not.
It's
not.
long. It's a long time if you count it in years. Because
it's a long time if you count it in hours as well. It's a long time if you count it in decades.
It's even longer if you count it in hours.
No, it's not. It's just as long.
No, it's not. It's even longer if you count it in hours.
Not.
The figure is bigger.
But the unit is bigger, but the amount of time. It's a long time ago. That's what he was saying. It is just as long ago if you measure it in hours, in minutes, in seconds, in years, in decades. It's just as long ago. That's what he's saying. It's a long time ago. If he'd have said it's a large amount, but only if you measure in years, then that would be a different story. It's relative. That's when it's of course it doesn't make sense because you wouldn't say that. But it makes sense in terms of the time is relative thing.
Right, but I think it's supposed to make a point more than be completely accurate.
Well, I'm not a fan of that because it should be completely accurate. That sentence just makes no sense.
No. You can't say it should be accurate because
of course it
it's
should
a
be
film.
Accurate.
So and it's a story. Like
Jordan, it's all like real. You can't give me any of this stuff like with Howl's Moving Castle.
If you go
when you
by
were
that,
like, it could be a fictional.
By that, Kieran, then you would not enjoy any book other than an encyclopedia.
Well, I fucking love encyclopedias, okay? But also, it just makes it. The sentence makes no sense. The first impression that I got from it was like, well, yeah, obviously. No, I can't see how you can interpret that any other way. It's not even mystical. I can't see how that's romantic.
It is. No, but it is. Like it's a long time ago, but only if you measure in years.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm not going to change how I feel about this because it's just as ridiculous.
Nah.
For me, this is on a par with how I felt about the taking a snapshot in a fucking before sunrise. How you felt about the reality of taking a snapshot, taking pictures in your brain kind of snapshot thing is how I feel about
interesting how we've like flip-flopped.
Yeah. that's the technical term. We've flip-flopped over this issue because this is like time. This is
Because I still agree that is bullshit.
Well, my issue with that thing was about memories, whereas this is time and being measured. If it's measurable, it is fact, yeah? And it's true, it's numbers. You can't argue with the numbers. This guy is measuring
but time is just a construct that we've developed. It's not a real thing.
Yes, it is a real thing,
It's
Jordan.
not a real thing.
It's not a construct.
It's not. Time isn't real.
Yeah, yes, it is. Because the sun goes. Because we get older. Sun goes round. No, we go round the sun
as
and
old
shit.
as we are. We don't get older.
What do you mean we are as old as we are?
It's just constant, isn't it? Time only exists because of what you're like either predicting or what you're remembering. Like it isn't real. It's not existent anymore. It's only ever now.
I guess it's only ever now.
So time can't exist.
So what's your point?
It's a tool that we use to measure things.
So therefore, we should be using the tool correctly when we're thinking about how long ago something
Exactly, and it's
is.
a long time ago, but only if you measure in years.
So how else would you be measuring it?
In
This is where we get ridiculous.
Joy.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right. Okay.
You can see me just plucking something out. in words.
Mm-hmm. In Easter eggs. All right. When Vern enters the treehouse, you can see his overdub vocals. I've got a fucking eagle eye for when people overdub vocals.
I didn't see that. No.
For me, it's so.
It does usually piss me off.
That really gets it. I've got one of my biggest beefs of the film is coming up, but do you have one?
My biggest beef of the film is something that the film helped me realize, and
it's not as abstract as that.
It just pisses me off that American football is called football because you barely use your feet with the ball. You kick it sometimes. And it really upsets me. I didn't realize until I was watching this, and I was like, you know what? That don't make any sense. Why? I suddenly got really defensive of the fact that they call our football soccer.
Well, it's because you play it with your socks, don't you? Yeah?
I'm not going to rise to it. I'm not going to rise to it. No, I'm not going to do it. And it's just stupid. Like that they call their football when they literally run up and down holding it in their hands.
They should call it a hand egg. Yeah.
Well, it's not an egg shape, is it?
I mean, it's as close as anything, really. It's, I don't know, it's an oval.
What kind of egg have you had that's pointy on both sides?
Oh, the...
Yeah?
Yeah,
Go on.
There's a special...
The one that was the shape of a football?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for completing that joke.
Yeah, no, I remember. I was there.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
The handshake.
Yeah, I don't like that.
What the fuck was that?
Give me some skin.
Ugh. And so what they do is
give it some skin.
It's some...
It's like, dude, no, I don't want to.
It's some slidey...
It's slow.
slimy...
That's what it is. It's not... Yeah, it's... Imagine you're doing a high five, but... Oh, wait, no, sorry. Imagine you're doing a handshake, but instead of like grasping the hand, both the hands are flat and they just slide off each other. That's what they do. So they just do like a slide.
Yeah, just like put your hand on the table, put your hand and your arm on the table, and then just slide it slowly off the table towards you. But imagine someone else's hand is underneath yours and they're doing the same thing.
Okay, I think we've accurately painted a picture of what it is they're doing.
And it's gross.
Yeah, it's just weird. And they just, like, he keeps on asking them to do it.
And skin it.
This is Chris, yeah, he's like, skin it. Do it. Skin it. Do it. I know you want to.
He does it out of this idea of like, this is what we do, this is our code, and this is how we make up for our things. But the handshake itself is so gross. How'd you come up with that? That's minging.
It's not even like inventive, is it? It's just like, just sliding your hand off.
It's because it's so slow. If it was a quick one and you have the sound effect of a slap and slide, then I'm cool with that. But it's because for me, it had the sound. What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to make up my own one. I want one that like with a click at the end, so it's like.
So it's got to have a slide and a click.
Yeah. Like yeah.
Okay.
Like with finger guns.
But you want
to
do the finger.
Yeah, that could work.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll
workshop this.
We have our own secret handshake.
We do have our own secret handshake.
But we're not going to tell you about that.
No, I'm going to tell you about that.
All right. When he there was this whole scene where, oh, by the way, Gordy, his brother, dies.
Yeah.
Not in the film, but like previous.
He's dead.
And so his parents are like kind of ignoring Gordy because his dad always wanted Gordy to be his elder brother, basically. And Gordy's elder brother was the only person who was really looking out for him. Then he died because of some normal medical thing. I don't know what else. But there was this whole like flashback within the flashback scene when Gordy's brother gives him his Yankees hat. And Gordy's like, but that's your Yankees hat. And Gordy's brother's like, no, it's yours now. And he's like, oh, sick, thanks. So he's all proud of this Yankees hat that he goes and takes on his adventure. But before they even get out of the town, the fucking Chris's brother and the ringleader of the pack of the older lot, Cobras and whatever, steal Gordy's hat.
Yeah.
And Gordy doesn't even try and get it back.
I mean, he's pretty upset about it, but he's a little bit of a bitch boy, isn't he? So he's not going to do anything about it.
I don't like to, but he is a bit of a bitch boy.
He is.
Because I've thought about this, like, when I'm a dad, because I'd like to be a dad, right?
Okay.
How am I going to teach? Because I was always taught, I'll just ignore it and stuff. But at the same time, I do know that in my life, I would have benefited from just punching someone in the face.
Right.
Like, I think I would have been able to, like, tell someone, don't fuck with me, because I will punch you in the face. And that, as much as I don't like violence, I do sometimes think, like, if you're 5 years old, like, is that a good solution sometimes? Maybe it is. I don't know. But when it leads kids to not being able to stand up for themselves for something that is as that important, like that, he's going to be pissed now that he doesn't have that hat, because that could be the last thing that he gets from his brother, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas having the resource to be able to say, that's my fucking hat, give it back to me, you know, I'd want to... He could have just run up behind him and took it off his head and just ran off. At the very least.
Yeah.
But he was a little bitch boy,
but that
like you said.
doesn't require hitting, does it? Like there's alternatives to violence.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't necessarily think that violence would have been a good way of handling that, because he would have just got beaten up because that kid was much bigger than him.
No, for sure. Yeah, you're right.
Like he would have just got beaten up.
Have you ever had a fight?
Yeah.
How did that go?
Yeah, once. I was in a park. I was very drunk. And I believe I was crying. I was, and someone just started hitting me in the back of the head.
What the fuck?
And I was like, I don't understand what's going on. So I was just like, just kept walking.
Classic passive Jordan.
And I was like, well, my mates were just like, whoa. And I was like, I don't know. And this all the while, this guy's still hitting me. I'm like just walking off. And then I must have just been really drunk, because I just like kept turning around, because I did karate at the time. I probably could have done a fight, and I'd turn around and I'd be like, get my stance ready, and I'm like getting my fists up, and I'm like, no, I'm done with this. I'm gonna fight this guy. And then I was just like, nah, because I just don't want to do that.
So you didn't
don't understand what's going on. I was in a one-sided fight. Because I didn't really... It's not like I got beaten up. Because and then eventually my dad just turned up in the car and just got in.
Yeah, of course.
He saw like a mob of people and was like, I wonder what's going on over there. And then he was like, oi, get in the car.
Fucking Detective Jordan's dad comes along and just gets you in the car.
Basically, yeah. Have you been in a fight?
There were a few scraps, I think, when I was in my second primary school. And that is it, I think. That there was a time that I got beat up, or a few times I got beat up. There was one time that I was trying to defend this girl, and there was this bully in the year. He's like this fattest kid, like he was such a dick. And he was he stole this girl's spelling book, and I'm like, give the girl's spelling book back. And he wouldn't, and I kept trying to get it back off him. And this bully, he had a sidekick who could do all the legwork.
Right, so he was the legs, the bully was the arms.
That's exactly right. So I was just running around the play, because I had legs too.
Right.
And I was running around the playground.
You were using yours to run.
Yeah. And the guy's sidekick, he couldn't keep up with me, but I somehow
obviously, because he's using his legs to kick.
Right. So I was trying to get the book. So I was at the same time as one guy was running after me.
Yeah.
I was trying to run back to the bully to get the book back and give it back to the girl. then becoming the hero, and all's good.
Yeah.
But by the time I get back to the bully, like the dude's is caught up with me now, and so then they both start punching me, and so I just got basically just beaten.
Yeah, it's not the best plan, is it?
No, I mean, what else can you do?
It's like if someone has a
armor.
gun and is running behind you, and you run into someone who you're running towards someone who also has a gun.
I mean, if they have a gun, they can just shoot me, can't they?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, okay, a knife or okay, a bully. A bully is running behind you, and you run into another bully intentionally.
Yeah,
and then you get beaten up.
But what I'm trying to protect, or what I'm trying to get.
What I don't understand is how. Why are you so far away from this bully if you're trying to get the book off of him?
What do you mean?
I don't understand. In this scenario, I'm imagining a playground.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Right, so you're on one side of the playground?
Sorry, okay. Bully number 1's over here.
Yeah.
Yeah?
This is an audio medium, you know that, right?
Oh, okay, sorry. All right. Imagine a square.
Yeah.
Bottom right-hand corner is where bully number 1 is.
Yeah.
That's where I am as well. That's where his sidekick is. Mm-hmm.
You're all there.
We're all there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, give the fucking book back.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, you were swearing.
Probably not. But give the book back.
Right.
She is her book.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, you little gay boy. And
Right.
I'm like, give the book back. They start throwing punches and calling me a gay boy. So I run away.
Right.
Now, this bully, who's the fat one,
Yeah.
stays in the bottom right-hand corner of this
Right.
playground. I run all the way around the playground, all to the far top left corner, to all the other corners in the middle, do a bunch of loop-de-loops and handstands and whatever fucking else. And I don't, but you know. And the guy with legs, he's just running around me. Now, I can't just continue running until we have to go into class.
Right, because this guy's just chasing you.
Well, because I can just run until the end of the break or whatever it was.
But you're not going to do that because you've got honor.
And also, I have to go back and save the spelling book.
Yeah.
This is the issue.
Exactly. And
So
your
I
honor.
have to run, and of course my honor. And so I have to run back to the bottom right-hand corner of the playground to try and get the book back, snatch it out of his hands, give it to the girl, and continue running away.
Right. So basically what happened was
You
started getting beaten up, you ran away, and then you thought better of it and came back.
but then just continued getting beaten up. That's what happened. That's what happened.
Oh, shit, this hurts. I'm going to leave. And then you left, and then you were like, oh, I can't really remember how bad that was. So I'm going to go back just and get that book. Oh, wait, no, shit. No, this is bad again.
This sucks. So I went in. No one gave me any first aid attention. I had a black eye, busted lip, like the whole deal.
Oh, man.
Like it was shit.
Yeah.
And it was only like after school, my mum was like, what the hell happened to you?
How have you gone through the rest of school without anyone saying anything to you? Like a teacher?
None of the teachers gave a shit. I was bullied all the time. Yeah, this is
That's
crap.
pretty bad.
Yeah, man, it was. It was only the next day when my mum was like, I want to see the head teacher now.
Yeah.
And the head teacher was like, oh, I guess we'll speak to the teachers and something. And my mum was like, we're going to the police, goddammit. And so like we went to police and all of this stuff. Yeah, man, this went deep. And the kid like the next day was like, oh, please don't press charges. And I was like, well, I'm not going to reveal it. And the parent, sorry.
How old were you this time?
This is year 6. So
Fucking like 11-year-old Kieran. Well, I'm not going to rule it out.
well, that's probably accurate. The teachers were like, "Oh, come on, shake hands and make up." I was like, "Are you fucking kidding?" Oh, in my head, I was like, "Are you fucking kidding?" Because
Are you flipping kidding me?
Oh, it was out. It was just silly. It was just silly. So that's about the time I had a fight.
Yeah,
and
thanks.
I, for the record, I would like to learn some martial arts because as much as I don't want to get into physical fights and I don't want to like provoke any kind of violence, I would like to be able to defend myself.
I pissed all of my friends off for so long because I just was like, I had quite flexible legs from doing karate, and I like to like show people how close I could get to kicking them without actually kicking them.
Yeah, you're a dickhead. You could do that.
Yeah, that guy that was like constantly just like annoying everyone by like almost punching them or almost kicking them and just.
I think I saw a bit of that.
Yeah?
Yeah, there were a few times I saw a bit of that.
Yeah, I think I'm out of it now, but I definitely that was sort of who I was about.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've got a few more beefs, if I may.
You may.
Thank you very much. I thought the acting from Vern and in particular Teddy was amdram and shit.
They are children, so cut them a break. But Vern, yeah, I definitely agree with. I'm not so sure about Teddy, but Vern, like, you could tell he was reading lines.
For me, no, I thought the casting of you got Gordy and Chris. They were amazing. They were,
yeah.
But for me, it was like a massive difference between Chris and Gordy and Teddy and Vern.
No, I thought Teddy was cool. I just thought Vern was shit.
I didn't dig him. I
was supposed to not like Vern. Like almost he was was the shit one of the group. So I was supposed to think he's shit.
Yes, but my beef was Teddy was when he was going on about his dad and the fact when he had his face in his hands and walking for that long, like. I was thinking back to when I was a kid, and I haven't seen kids do that thing. You know, like it wasn't.
It was a different time. If I had an issue with anyone, it would be Ace, the leader of the Cobras. Young Jack Bauer. Because he was like way too, almost like way too smart, and the way he said things, like. When the two guys that didn't want to come because they didn't want to be sort of put in with boosting the car kind of thing, he was saying, "No, you're coming with me," and they were like, "But we don't want to. We don't see the point." Blah 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 blah. And he's like, "Okay, you've made your point. You've laid out your case. Now let me do mine. Get in the car." It was just like the way that he said that. I'm imagining I think they were like teenagers kind of thing. I don't imagine anyone being that level-headed as a teenager as the leader of the gang. It seemed very cool. Seems like what the cool kid would say, but I don't think that's what anyone actually would say. No, it didn't seem very believable, the things that he came out with.
I reckon he would have, because for me, that looked exactly like something that maybe his dad would do. And so he was just copying exactly what his dad was like.
Maybe.
So I can see him like just being that asshole, manipulative, but quite clever.
Right,
ringleader of a
street smarts.
Street smarts. But I get you, dickhead. But like,
wow, okay,
no, not you, not him. He's a dickhead.
You. Jesus,
about to hit you. I get you, Jordan.
Yeah.
He's a dickhead.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm glad we cleared that up. But I think he was just clever and manipulative, as opposed to it being completely unrealistic.
Yeah,
but that was just like, bullies are rubbish.
Yeah,
hate bullies. They're the worst. You got any more beefs? Because I want to hit you with some bits and bobs.
What is Goofy?
What?
What is Goofy?
Yeah. Right.
Have you got an answer?
No, I think there is an official answer.
Okay. Okay.
Can you explain at what point this came in the film?
I've already actually Googled what is Goofy.
Okay, well, go ahead.
But so basically,
they have a campfire discussion about what Goofy is.
And they're just talking about what is it that Goofy is, and it keeps coming back round because it's like, well, so you've got Daffy Duck, Mickey Mouse, they're all wearing clothes.
Pluto is a dog.
Pluto is a dog that doesn't wear clothes, but Goofy wears clothes. He looks like a dog, but he doesn't wear clothes.
So Jordan.
Well, I'm reading the Wikipedia article, and it just says Goofy is a funny animal cartoon character.
No, I'm not having that.
Goofy is tall. Oh, wait. Goofy is a tall anthropomorphic dog with my favorite word in it, anthropomorphic.
Not bad. Okay.
With a southern drawl. Oh, okay. That's just, yeah. Originally known as Dippy Dog, I'm assuming. So he must have been a dog. He was a dog. Oh, and occasionally Goofus D Dog.
Goofus D Dog.
Goofus D Dog.
That's a terrible name. Okay. All right. Well,
he's a dog.
Well, it's good to know. Have you just read something else that's interesting?
His kid's called Max Goof.
Oh, for God's sake!
I think I knew that. I think it was Max, but I didn't realize his last name was literally Goof. Okay, sorry. Go on.
I've got a couple things. The leeches were gross. That was just really, 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 really gross. And the pinky swear.
Yeah,
that was serious.
That was cool.
But they never actually linked their fingers to make it an official pinky swear.
Well, many different cultures have many different ways of using the pinky swear.
Oh, thank you, David Attenborough. Tell me more.
Nope.
Okay. Okay. And finally, eating competitions.
Yeah.
That was so gross.
That was gross.
Like that was just so
Do they actually
gross.
exist? Why just use your hands? Why does it have to be that? Why does it have to be shoving your face into a pie?
Also, how do they measure when a pie is completed?
Exactly, it's impossible. You can't be telling me that they've just eaten all of the inside of the pie and left the base. I don't.
There's all the crust and everything. Like, no, I'm not. And it's not. It's not.
You can't measure it. It's.
It was so unbelievably gross.
Yeah.
And the way that the story finishes is that everyone is sick on each other. Like, sure, I can understand that's a story.
I think the only way that makes sense is the fact that it's a story told by a child.
Yes, that's fine. It's still gross, nevertheless.
Yes.
And I wasn't a
Was
mad
that
fan.
kid wearing a fat suit?
Yes.
His clothes looked like they weren't him.
Yeah. He was wearing a fat suit, and also I thought it looked like one of the other kids that was already in the film.
He looked like Vern, but older. It was weird.
Maybe that's what the play on the whole thing was. In the last scene where he goes out to play with his kid and his mate, and they go and be silly buggers and whatever.
Yeah.
He is finishing off writing this book, story. He doesn't press save. He just turns off the computer. What's the deal?
Gone.
Just all of that work that he's just written out, he's just had to retype it all over again as soon as he gets back to the computer. That's just silly. All right. If you were to be someone in the film, Jordan, who would you be? What would you do?
I would be Ace, and I would do something more productive with a gang than just like find a body or.
So what do you want it to be, like the parish committee or something like that?
No, I mean I'd be like boosting cars,
youth council, or
robbing banks.
Oh, okay.
Stealing a lot more stuff.
That's a bit big league though compared to what they're used to.
He's got like a gang of like 8 guys that have literally got the gang name like with a razor blade like written into their arms. Like they're pretty diehard. So I would be utilizing that a lot more, and rather than just like pissing off little kids and being a general sort of douchebag, I would actually be like, making some dollar, making a name for myself in the criminal underworld.
I think gangs were a lot less resourceful in the 50s and 60s than they were like in the 20s and 30s.
Well, they just got out of that phase of like walking and clicking and like it with the joint hands,
Oh yeah. This is. What are you still doing that?
Yeah,
okay,
sorry.
You're thinking West Side Story, right?
Yeah.
I can't remember when West Side Story is set. I think it's set in the 50s, in fact, and I think this is
maybe they should have just been. I'd be him and make sure that everywhere they went, they all did that.
They either did the clicking or they just moved to New York, because that's clearly how to make a gang resourceful. Maybe they just needed to do like an exchange trip with the Sharks or the Jets or something. So the Jets can see the countryside. They can see what's going on.
Yeah, an exchange. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that'd be cute.
Who would you be?
I'd be Gordy's dad and not be a dick.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Because Gordy was clearly missing a whole lot of love, and he was saying, "Oh, it should have been me," and the whole guilt thing and whatever. Blah blah.
Yeah,
blah,
that's pretty deep.
And he wasn't getting any help from either of his parents, and the only help and
his
love.
mum seemed like she was encouraging of him, but unfortunately, I don't think she was given the opportunity to.
She didn't have enough power within the household
to like really do anything about that. Like, could help him in any way.
Yeah. So that was pretty sad. Pretty sad. Jordan.
Yes.
If you were to bring someone into the film, who'd you bring?
Robin Williams as Peter Pan.
Okay. Robin Williams as Peter Pan?
Yeah.
When was he
Have you
Peter
seen
Pan?
the film Hook?
Was that Robin Williams as Peter Pan?
Yeah.
Holy shit. I've seen it ages ago.
Yeah, same.
So I can barely remember.
I just have him living like in the forest bit.
What, just kind of hanging out? And
no, he's taking the body.
Fucking hell.
Because he needs the little children's life essence.
Oh,
to stay young.
This is the dark reality of okay.
Yeah, no, they like I want to bridge those two films together. Just like, and that's how they become the Lost Boys. They end up in Peter Pan's domain. He won't let them leave because he's slowly feeding off of their life essence.
Do you think he's the one who's driving all the trains? Like,
he's doing whatever the fuck he wants. It's Peter Pan. He has no shadow, for fuck's sake.
That is pretty
Defies
scary.
the laws of physics.
It'd be quite funny to see like Vern as Tinkerbell or something like that.
Why would that happen? How would that happen?
A little fat boy Tinkerbell. Tinkerboy. That'd be funny.
Tinkerboy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'd bring Bear Grylls.
Oh, nice. Okay, I like that.
I feel like they needed a lot of scouting skills. Like if it wasn't for
He's just like rooting around, eating shit everywhere, just drinking his own piss.
well, not necessarily.
Like, Bear, come on, man. Gordy's telling a story. Stop drinking your piss for 1 second and just sit down. Fuck's sake, why did we even bring you?
Well, he's if it was raining, I think they'd have been fucked because they had no intention to build any tents or anything.
Right.
They just kind of brought their sleeping bags.
Yeah.
They didn't bring any provisions. Terrible idea.
Yeah.
They managed to get a fuckload of stuff for like $1.
Back in the day, though,
they got 4 bottles of Coke, a load of like a slabs of meat and whatever else. It kind of looked a little bit like the slab of jam from The Pianist,
Yeah.
and maybe some bread and cheese from Howl's Moving Castle.
Yeah.
Like clearly, like they had a hookup with those two films. Would you stay indoors to watch? Oh, by the way, the song "Stand by Me" was throughout the film in an orchestral arrangement,
Yeah, it's
and
nice.
then right when the credits rolled, it was the Benny King
Yeah.
version. Did
Did that satisfy your need for Stand By Me?
Yeah. It was the very first thing you heard.
It was literally. That's my first note. I'm so glad they got that out of the way right at the start, just so you know it is.
It's
in
definitely
the film.
there.
It's there.
Yeah, you're not just waiting.
We have
for
acknowledged that we have taken the name of this film, of this song.
Would you stay indoors to watch Stand By Me?
I would stay indoors. Yeah, I thought it was a great story of sort of childhood. It made me think a lot about my childhood and like what I was doing back then when I was a kid at that age. Like it specifically made me think about like doing all-nighters and like going out telling your parents that you're like camping out at a friend's when actually you're like going out in somewhere else. And just like how that can be such a they even had the point where like Gordy was like, this is a shit idea, like, and like let's just go home now, like we're done with this. Like they find the body and they're like, yeah, let's just like, I like resonated with that so hard, like the idea of like when it's getting really like early in the morning and you're just like, this is just like, let's go home now, this was a dumb idea. Like it made me think a lot about my childhood, and it was quite a warm and nice film. So yeah, if you're looking for that kind of thing, then yeah, I'd definitely stay indoors for that. You?
I would not stay indoors. Because for me, the story...
Your childhood was spent inside wrapping up cling film.
To be honest, yes. because like, I mean, I wasn't allowed to play out because unless there was an adult there.
Whatever.
Yeah. Unless there was an adult there, no.
And when were you allowed to like go out with your friends?
Without
an adult. When was the first time you were allowed to do that?
So I was allowed to cycle to and from school. I was allowed to walk to and from school initially with my sister only, and then I managed to get allowed to cycle to and from school by myself, and then I would just like go to my mate's place, and so we would just kind of stay there. But it was always the case that I had to always inform like who I was with like all the time, but playing out was like a foreign concept to me for like the whole time. Like I never played out throughout the whole of primary school ever.
Right, but what about secondary school?
Secondary school, very rarely. Like I didn't live on the same estate as my closest mates, and so, but I could probably count on 2 hands the amount I've played out even with them.
Oh wow! Okay.
Because we mostly either stayed in and played Xbox, but even then, I didn't do that a great deal because I was always off doing some kind of music lesson or some other scouts. I did a lot of exploring and camping with scouts.
Yeah,
that was wicked. Like, and I did, but I didn't do nearly as much adventuring as I think I would have wanted to. So that kind of freedom and stuff that I saw in this film, I was like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, I'd like to do that. I'd like to make sure that my kids, when I have kids, like that, make sure that they go and just fuck around in the woods and fracture their wrist and whatever, find some dead bodies, and get leeches, and then
write a book about it
on their balls. Yeah, of course. You like everything we just said. I want all of that to happen. But at the same time, like the way the story was being told, I was just like, nah.
No,
I didn't like the way the story was being told at all. I thought the older brother and his gang were just dicks. They were just dicks, and we were getting shown way so much of them. The two, considering there were 4 of these younger kids who we were getting shown a lot of them, and 2 of them were very strong actors, and for me, 2 of them were wildly just like. They just needed to find the 2 people who were closest to the the physical description that they needed.
Yeah.
Like, there were definitely some better actors who were nearer to the caliber of the two better actors.
Yeah. I mean, also, potentially, after what you've said, maybe I'm just sort of looking at it through, like, the nostalgia is carrying the film for me. Like, I'm getting good vibes from remembering, like, times when I was growing up, and that's making me think that the film is good.
I think it's relying a bit on that too much, and I'm just kind of stuck on the fact that they didn't get any provisions. You know, like, they didn't plan their trip properly.
Okay. If you're not as anal as Keiran, though, you might actually enjoy this.
Okay. Well, all right. I've got nothing else to say. Okay.
Okay. Well, what are we watching next week?
Next week we are going to be watching Life of Brian.
Yes.
Which is Monty Python, right?
It is a Ponty Mython.
Nice one. All right. See you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Nothing could be further from the truth, unless the truth is that you can listen to us at 250reasons@gmail.com.
Go on.
As I said, nothing's further from the truth. But you can talk to us at 250 Reasons on social media, like Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, if you count that as social media. And,
Come on
and
now.
YouTube. And I meant to say Twitter, and the word YouTube came out. You said Twitter, and I could have very easily have just copied that, and instead my brain went, no, do YouTube again. But you can listen to us on anywhere that you find podcasts. We're very accessible.
And you can also send us a longer message on 250reasons@gmail.com. Thanks for joining in.
I always want to harmonise, but I'm always too scared. Okay. We'll see you in a bit.
Bye.
Be safe.